Alright, sorry for all those interruptions. So we're back at the TOUGHBOOK. So I'm going to remove all these screws here, just in case. So take these screws out. Alright, for these screws, they are a lot bigger for the two at the edges of the hinge, of the handle. So I switched to another screw. This is just a larger, I don't know what it's called, 3.5. I don't know what the type is though. Alright, so just so you know, I'm removing those. Hopefully you can see. Okay. They are pretty long, so they most likely are going through the case. I don't know if the handle needs to be taken apart. I don't think so. So the handle, I think you only need to take it apart if you're actually going to take apart the inside to see what's inside. I can open it just so you can see, but it's not something you need to remove, I'm pretty sure. So I'll take it out just to see what's inside. Alright, so this, I'm using the PH1 or J1 screwdriver bit again. So yeah, as you can see, that's just to take this apart so you can kind of see the mechanism inside. Doesn't look like there's really much to it. So there's this part that slides around inside to move with it, and that looks like that's how it works. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna put this back. Hopefully I can put it back. Okay, so it looks like this piece goes like that. This piece goes in here. Okay. Let's see how this lines up. So it just goes in there like that. Okay, there's not really anything special to it. And then we'll put this side back down. Okay. Hopefully I'm not messing this thing up. Okay. Put the screw back in. Okay, got one side in. Side. Oh, that piece fell out. That's why it's going weird. Okay. So I think these metal pieces are supposed to stay in place, but they, on this side, one of them's kind of fallen out. So yeah. Oh, okay. So let's see. I'll try and put this on first. Oops. So these little pieces here are just plastic. But, okay. Looks like it can only go one way in here. Yep. Okay. So these plastic bits are what hold it in. Okay. Okay, so you can't really flip the plastic pieces over. They kind of only go in one way. So I will put these on. Let's see if I can do this. Put it back properly. There we go. Okay, so now just hold the two layers together, and then we'll put these back. Okay. But yeah, you probably won't have to mess with that hinge unless your plastic pieces inside are worn out or something. So I just kind of wanted to open it up to see how it worked. There we go. So now we got that back together. Okay. Alright, let's see here. What else? We'll remove the screws from in here. So this is again using the PH1 or J1. Okay. Hopefully I'm not going to mix up these screws. There's so many. Okay, those are all removed. Alright, looks like those are all out. I'm going to remove this because there's a metal plate here. I'm not sure what it's for, but I'm going to take it out and see. Switching back to the PH0 or J0. Alright, let's see here. looks like there should be a second screw here, so I don't know if they lost one. I don't know why it's stuck. I don't see any purpose for taking this out, but I guess we'll do it anyways. There's nothing there, just a piece of plastic, but I will leave that out just in case it needed to be removed for some reason. Okay, so we got pretty much, looks like all the screws. There's one screw on the back there, so I will remove that as well. Alright, hopefully I will remember where all this goes, but there you go. Remove that little metal piece, and that looks to be a SIM card cover. So if you use mobile internet, this doesn't seem to have a mobile card, SIM card in there. Okay, so we got all that. I'm gonna flip it back over, and then we will open this up. So again, the customer tried to open this up themselves and they destroyed this, but it looks like, so there was a metal tab on this side that goes that way. The rest looks like it's just adhesive. So normally you would have to lift this up. So the keyboard will be like this. You'll use a pry tool to get underneath here, and you have to be very careful, but you basically will pry underneath this. If you have a really long pry tool like this, then you can kind of go underneath the whole keyboard just like this, go all the way, and then you can kind of peel it up. But you will have to be careful. There is a metal plate here, so really the only exposed part of the keyboard cable should be all the way back here. So as long as you don't pry all the way to the front, you should be okay with that keyboard. So you kind of just have to pry it like this, and then just be careful not to hit down here. Okay, so that's how you would remove the keyboard. I'll show it on the other one, hopefully. And then once you get all of that out, you can lift the keyboard up like this. And then while you have the keyboard up, because, oh, actually, I think the keyboard cable might be sticking out a bit. So you do have to be careful. I don't think it was, let's see, how would that metal plate? Yeah, it might have been all covered by the metal plate. So yeah, pretty much once you do that, you can undo the screws for the metal plate, get this up, pull this out, and then you can take the keyboard out. So it looks like there's also a connector there for keyboard backlight on some models, but this one doesn't support that. Okay, so that's how you would have gotten out the keyboard. I already took out the screws there. So let's see if we can pop these two layers apart now. Oh, there we go. So if you pop these apart, be careful. There are some metal pieces in here that came out. So on the second one, when I open it, I'm gonna have to be careful with that to see where those pieces come from. But it looks like they came from the top layer. Okay, so I will take that out and then we will inspect it. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, so the top layer had that. Okay, so it looks like this comes out from the bottom layer first. Okay, so let's see here. So you'll have it upside down like this, and this whole piece should come up. Be careful, there are the antenna wires going around here, so you will have to unroute at least this black antenna wire. It looks like the white antenna wire goes underneath. So let's get this out. So lift up this plastic adhesive, peel it out, and then you can move this black antenna wire out of the way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but yeah. So there's this adhesive holding this black antenna in place. I will have to figure out where this came from, but it's that fan vent. Okay. So that all came out as one piece. So it looks like that part of the adhesive is stuck, so I'm going to pull it out from the bottom part. Okay, so we'll get out the bottom part of the adhesive. Then you can get the antenna out, and you can lift this antenna, guide it through the hole, and take it out just like that. Okay, so it looks like this piece is removable from the bottom side. So It looks like I can take it out and then bend it back in place. All right, so let's see. This has 4 screws in it. I will take this out and bend it. Okay. Oh, and then the parts that came out from this hinge thing, they just go up in here. So those are kind of like little washers to prevent it from wearing out the thing. So the handle will go over this like that, and then it just opens and closes like this. Okay. And then there is the bottom where the screws are, so make sure when you put this back, I mean, you can put it the other way, but to keep the same thing, the same look where it's all smooth on top and the screws are all on the bottom, make sure this faces the bottom. Okay. All right, so that's that. I'm going to take this out. All right, once I get this out, I'm going to have to bend it back. Hopefully it will come out. This part seems to be stuck. This one screw is stuck. So there's 2 more screws here. I'm going to take those out as well. Okay, so hopefully I can now lift this out. Okay, move this out of the way. I don't know if the plastic on this is broken or that's just how it is. It looks like that's how it is. So this is a little cover for this piece. So I guess this one I have to transfer the whole thing over. Okay. But this metal piece is broken, so I don't know. Okay, it looks like the metal piece is separated from this. Let me see if I can get this out. I'm dropping the, let me move the metal rings so they don't fall everywhere. Okay, or they're plastic actually. Okay, so this piece I will remove separately. Okay, so I guess the screw mount for this, oh yeah, they broke it. That's why that screw wasn't coming out. So I will have to use some pliers to hold it and then unscrew that piece, it looks like. But okay, there's 2 other screws here holding this metal bracket in place. So to remove that, you'd have to take that out. Okay, so take out these 2 screws as well. These are a lot of screws to remember. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's the one good thing with doing a video, is if I can't remember, I can at least watch the video as well and see where I pulled them out from. Okay, so usually I don't need to do that, but this is a very complex build. Okay, so we'll take that out. So it looks like you can actually leave the metal thing attached with those 4 screws. And you just need to take out the 2 here and the 2 holding that other bracket in place, but I just took them all out anyways. So we're done with this bottom panel. I'm most likely going to use the other one. I don't know if I'll transfer this board over. I'll try and take a look if they look different. If they do, then I'll transfer that to the replacement one as well. But other than that, that panel's done. Let's bend this metal piece flat if I can. Jeez. Okay. Hopefully it'll work. Bending this metal piece back flat. Hopefully it'll be okay. Alright. Then we can see and put this piece back. So this piece was on here. And as you can see, it almost broke on this one as well. But yeah, so I'll put those screws back here, and then we can have this piece. Okay. So I'll put those screws back for this card reader. Alright, this video is most likely going to be at least two more parts if I'm going to do a second laptop of reassembly. So, okay, now we got this piece all back together. I don't know if this card reader will still work after those big bends. This part looks dented. I don't think I can bend that back. I don't want to try and bend it because I don't know internally I might damage something, so I'll leave that as is. All right, let's see what else we got here. So now we will remove the whole board. So there's this board here, got that, we've got the antenna here. Let's see, okay, so I'm gonna remove all these screws from these. Let's see, do I need to remove that? That's for the trackpad. Probably don't need to remove all of this. These pieces I can probably leave in there, and then just once I get the motherboard out or the logic board out, then I can undo that. So I'm gonna see if I can do that so I don't have to completely take out all the pieces. Jeez. Okay. So we'll switch back to the PH1 or J1, and then we'll start removing all these little black screws holding down the motherboard. This is the LCD cable, looks like. So if you're removing the LCD cable, make sure you held down the power button for several seconds, okay? And this, usually you just pull it straight up and it should come out, okay, just like that. All right, there's another connector underneath here, so disconnect that as well. Okay, just pull it with your fingernails, and then same thing with this little one. All right, usually if it doesn't come out, just wiggle it and it'll eventually come out. Don't use too much force. Now we'll get out all these screws that are on the motherboard itself. So there's one here, there's one here. They skip one hole here. Okay, there isn't one on this side either. Then we've got another one down here. It looks like for some of the screw, actually for most of the screw holes, they'll have this little symbol here with a screw, so you know where the screws came from. That's nice. Okay, I think those screws are all about the same length, so it'd probably be okay if you get them mixed up, but I would try and avoid it anyways. Okay. Alright, so get out all these screws. There's another one here. Another one here. Another one here. Oh geez, that's a lot of screws. Another one here. Okay. So now this board is coming up. Undo this connector here, so just pull back these two wings and then you can undo that connector. So let's see here. Can I remove this without taking the whole board out? Okay, so lift that up and then pull this connector back. There we go. So now we got that out. Let's see, is there something else holding this down? Okay, nope. So the board comes out just like that. Just lift from this side, lift it up. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Get all these little connectors, make sure nothing is getting caught on the board. Okay, it looks like something else might be, okay, so it is just these cables here. So the CMOS battery here, you will want to pop this up too. Okay, so you can remove it, but I'm gonna transfer it over so the BIOS doesn't get reset, just in case it messes with their car software. Okay, so let's peel that up. I'll use the pry tool just to get close to the adhesive so I don't rip the thing too much. Okay, get the adhesive off. Okay, there's a kind of strong foamy gooey adhesive on the bottom of the battery, so go. Alright, I'm not going to put all that adhesive back, but there we go. Alright, flip this over if you don't want to undo all of those pieces. Okay, and then you can peel this out. And then you can peel this side out as well. Put a lot of adhesive on this thing. So peel all of that. Okay, and then same thing, these little wings. Just push them forward. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then once you push those wings forward like that, then you can get these connectors out, just like that. Okay, so that's all there is to that. And now we got the motherboard here. So now we just have to transfer this to the new one. Hopefully there's nothing else that this board has that's special. So here you can see this power connector. So that is for the charge port. You got a little speaker here. I don't know what this little connector is for, but hopefully the replacement one has all the same stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna start disassembling the other one, and I'll set this motherboard aside. Okay. Let's see how long I record it, because I don't want it to start another one. Okay, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna start another set part for this, just so it doesn't auto stop while I'm in the middle. All right, I'll see you in the next one.